Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both.
Welcome to the attic.
It's VC's Peasies.
Look, whoever it came from was going to be the penis smacker.
No, it's not.
Hi.
Just it's a meat tenderizer, but
That's you can tenderize it.
it's not someone's sausage roll
Sausage roller.
pounder. I don't know.
Ooh, a sausage pounder. Welcome, sausage pounders.
That was my nickname in college. Just kidding, you guys. I didn't go to college. Welcome.
The throat goat.
Wow. Goat, like short for greatest of all time?
Yes.
Yes.
Not that you throat goats.
No, I do not throat goats.
Unless it was like a goat meat kebab.
No.
I'll eat a goat.
Yeah, no, I don't care for it.
Okay.
Tried it once, didn't care for it. Anyways,
We're here to read the pamphlet. Guys.
all right, this is the last.
I'm Katie, this is Tia.
Oh, we didn't even tell them last time.
You know who we are.
You're in the last episode before this, from 2 weeks ago. I'm Tia, and that's Katie.
Perfect. And for this episode, I'm Katie, that's Tia.
Yep.
And we're doing the
last installment.
The last installment, the first ever pamphlet, the brochure.
Oh my god.
Called Gathering White Clouds.
No, Gathering Clouds, the shocking prequel to Rain.
It is not.
Proper ellipses. The V.C. Andrews story you will never forget. Because you awake in the night and go, what, huh?
So, it's 48 pages. It's available only inside of a DVD.
Called Rain, in which the character of Rain is playing the piano on the front.
No, you can't handle it.
And that never happens. And on the back it's like, she's 19. She wasn't. She was 16. I don't know. Anyway.
So here's the back, boy. I know.
The shattering prequel that reveals the truth behind the mother Rain never knew until now.
Nope.
Megan Hudson grew up in a privileged world of fine schooling and fancy sports cars. A world where her troubled relationship with her cold mother and competitive sister was hidden behind a veneer of wealth. Where untamed passions, like those that roiled inside young Megan, were not acceptable. That's not a sentence.
It's just words.
But the sentence is, where untamed passions, like those that roiled inside of young Megan, were not acceptable. That's a sentence fragment. Mm-hmm. Anyways, in college, Megan falls in love with a man who would also be unacceptable in her world. Their love was powerful and real, and together they dreamed of a future.
Did they?
Yes. Oh, but fate.
I got things to say.
But fate would have other plans, and soon all that remained of their love was a precious child that Megan would not be allowed to raise as her own or even see again.
All right.
A beautiful baby girl named Rain. She was not named Rain in this book.
Yep. So
I don't even care about my notes. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say. So this was a hard boy, and you think like, oh, it's fucking 48 pages.
It should take maximum an hour to read.
Sure.
Maximum.
Could not and and you pinpointed it just yesterday when you said it's so hard to get into.
I would stop to write a note. And then just have physically
I'm physically tired of this.
Unable to pick the book back up and bring the words to my eyes. I'm also sitting weird.
We open with a ballerina dream and a jewelry box from Daddy. Niederman. That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Noted.
Yep. I didn't realize Victoria was younger.
I don't know how you didn't.
I just assumed that she was older.
Nope, she's just a huge bitch.
No, I know, but I also I don't know. I don't remember Grandmother Hudson talking about how she had Megan when she was having the affair with Hoopsty boy. Jake, yeah.
Well, she didn't. Grandmother never told Rain. Jake did. I always knew.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, she wasn't oh, and after I had Megan, my husband wasn't as interested, and that's one of the reasons. Like, I don't know, how is she spending all
I
this
feel
time?
like I always understood Victoria to be younger.
Well, she's 2 years younger.
Noted. She's always been a huge read tall bitch. What's her facial structure like?
The skin just fell from her cheekbones to her jawline like wet bed sheets.
What the fuck? What in the fuck does that mean? Like, what?
I don't know. If someone could sketch a picture of what it would look like with someone's skin falling away from their cheeks like
wet bed sheet. Like it's wadded up and like...
I need visuals for these.
God.
I am asking you again, dear listener. Please sketch me a doodle.
Doodle me a sketch. Victoria was so interested in father's business that he threatened her with learning about the business.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if you want to ask me questions, I'm going to sit you down and talk to you like a businessman.
She was like, I would like to learn that. Thank you. It's just more like saying like, oh, you like oranges, huh? Well, how would you like to eat an orange? Great.
I think it's because she was little and asking little person questions, and he's like, I'm going to bore the hell out of you with big man answers.
Megan throws irresponsibility in Victoria's face, just for fun, which tracks for Megan, much to Frances's chagrin.
I was wondering if this whole dumb pamphlet was just going to be how uggy and sucky Victoria is.
She's actually kind of barely in it.
They thought at the beginning, the first half is just about how sucky Victoria is.
And then she's like, an afterthought.
And then it's like, I met Larry, and that's the next step. Like, it was so...
It's very split.
Nothing was like focused on long enough or even short enough for it to work. It was really funny because Megan mentions that like there was a moment where Victoria is like trying to put some effort in, and she took out a freaking makeup book from the library, which I thought was really funny. She went and did her research. She went to the nonfiction section.
Speaking of, Frances is noted as fashionable and elegant, but not our usual beauty queen or plain Jane choices.
Yeah,
so
she was like, she's not a beauty, but she's not pretty. She's regal.
She's chic.
She's a queen.
She goes to get a fashion.
Majestic.
Never frivolous and knows about finances and property, but still doesn't favor Victoria. Like Frances is a woman who knows about the business and is like, fuck Victoria.
Yeah.
I also ask, why do all these parents have to have a favorite?
For sibling rivalry.
Yep. So basically, Victoria narcs on Megan all the time, and neither of the parents are into it.
Yeah, they're like,
shut the fuck up.
You're like, no one likes a rat.
Daddy hates rats.
Daddy hates rats.
If ratting on someone is the only way to get ahead, stay behind.
It's good. It's good
you know what? Sound advice. Daddy likes to get his dick wet. Many sudden business trips. And loves Megan more because she looks better.
Yep.
Sure.
Whatever.
I mean, she doesn't have like a wet bedsheet face. What is that? Frances doesn't see what she doesn't want to see with regard to like the business trips. I feel like that doesn't track. I feel like she was a sharp-eyed hoe.
No, it's saying she's just ignoring it. She's like,
okay.
whatever. Like, she mentioned that before. She's like, yeah, I knew he was probably having affairs. I don't give a shit. Like, she's not going to get flustered about it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going to give you that. I realized, too, the grandmother in the last book, Harley's grandmother, Francine, really not trying with any names.
Oh,
your grandmother's name was Frances? Mine was Francine. What?
Why did I write Daddy's deluded?
I don't
remember? Great.
Who cares?
So basically, Victoria has zero interest in anything except business, and Megan thinks it's because she's ugly. Seriously. She's like, she has to look at her reflection, and that's a bummer. That's why she's a bitch. She has to look at that fucking face.
She has this inner thought that was like, if I looked in the mirror and saw this, like, even if it was the most wonderful day out, I would be like, I hate life. That was a little much.
I noted this is probably when she got the book of makeup that Victoria tries to do her makeup and hair, and it is tragic.
Yeah.
Victoria's friends are losers, which is embarrassing for Megan. Because she was like, she hung out with losers, and I was embarrassed. Megan's friends make fun of Victoria, and Megan was like, I can't or don't defend her. She made a point of trying to be, like, redemptive. Like, I just couldn't bring myself to defend Victoria. Maybe I want to do. I don't know. Again, what
She was a pain in the ass, and they had a horrible relationship.
Victoria really wants love and a soft heart, not a spreadsheet heart.
Okay.
And then I asked, like, does Megan feel sorry for her? Like, I don't understand.
Yes and no. I think it kind of flops around. I don't know.
Stupid.
I hate this.
Megan's first date was at 14 with a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Which is...
He's a senior, yeah.
Which is a Niederman age gap.
Yeah, it sure is. He's a senior, yep. She sheds her annoying virginity one night when she's 14 after going to a dance with... His name is Harrison McAllister.
Yes, so who has more in common with Victoria at age 12, ? But Megan is prettier. Nice.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And then
What?
I said, apparently Megan is the wild girl, ? Belinda style?
Yes.
We'll get to this because I have some other thoughts. We'll leave that there for now. Put it down. We'll pick it up later.
Sure.
Megan identifies as the virgin whore dichotomy, basically.
And she's like...
She'll go out with what's his name, guaranteeing a good time.
Yeah, like she was just like, yeah, I knew. She's like, I had never even been like seen naked, but she just like really wanted to just like, it's gonna be annoying for me to think about my virginity being taken as something special, so I'm just gonna get it over with. And she said like something like she didn't even realize when it was over. I'm like, kind of a cave you got.
Oh wow,
kind of a little shrimp dick that guy got.
The girls' bathroom is the classroom of reality.
I like that.
If
True.
you would like to use this paragraph, which we know.
To be sure, I had girlfriends who still considered it not only dangerous but sinful to permit a boy to touch them under their clothes.
Yep.
In our girls' bathroom, which was really the classroom's reality as far as most of us were concerned, Tamara Ford gave us the benefit of her mother-daughter intimate talks to tell us, when you let a boy touch your naked breasts and stiffened nipples,
Again with the stiffened nipple.
or let him put his hand between your legs, you are turning over the key for him to unlock your precious treasure. Precious treasure? Most of us laughed at her and teased her to death after that, following her in the hallways and calling out questions like, how's your precious treasure this morning, Tamara?
She was teased into parochial school. That was a fun one.
Red Treasure Island lately, Tamara? Really silly.
So that is just silly.
So silly.
They also heard that public school girls go all the way. And that's how Harrison got his experience. There's like another rich kid guest house love nest, and there's a consensual and curious fuckins.
Yeah.
But no sister gossip. She was like, Victoria didn't even want to know. Well, because you're a fucking bitch to her. Like,
I don't think she's a bitch to her. I think that she is tired of Victoria being...
a bitch.
Yeah, being nasty to her and just,
Okay.
like, hateful.
Okay.
And so she's like, because she keeps talking about how she wished they had a better relationship.
There was
I think she kind of gave up trying is all.
French man,
An affair with a 25-year-old in France.
Julian,
On a class trip when she was a senior.
Post-secondary school, I vibe with her lack of post-secondary drive. So it was literally my exact meeting with our guidance counselor. Because he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't fucking nothing.
Yeah, right?
Which is what Megan, she's like, I don't know, fucking nothing.
I really like this. Frances says to Megan, like, oh, don't be like Margaret Carlson. And I was like, who the fuck is that?
Megan.
Nope.
Megan? Margaret?
Frances said to Megan, don't be like Margaret Carlson. And I was like, who the fuck is Margaret Carlson? And then I was
Just
like,
dropping full
oh,
names.
apparently it's a girl from Megan's school who only watched Birds. Like, she was like, don't be like that person. And then it was like paragraphs, and then it was like,
Oh, and that person.
and then, I don't know, Megan's narration tells us that Margaret Carlson. I was like, what?
It was weird.
I was just so
Shockingly.
Like, in such a small book, what a stupid detail to
what an
add.
aside.
You could have put something actually good, appropriate. Anyways, I don't fucking know.
Megan doesn't give a fart about college, but she'll go to Frances's alma mater. And it's fine that it's an all-girls school because it costs enough to be comfortable. She's like, as long as it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Sure. Daddy says there's plenty of time to be sensible later.
I kind of like that.
It's good. It's a good vibe. Sure enough, but not. She do not be sensible later.
No.
It's kind of
much later.
much later.
You know, she's like freaking 19 or something. 20, 19, 20, 19. Okay.
Roommate, a black girl. She good at basketball.
When Victoria discovered my roommate was black, she grimaced and asked me how I dealt with it, as if I were rooming with a disabled girl or something.
Victoria.
What year is it?
Grimaces. You would share clothes with her?
Yeah.
I get it. Look, racism still exists. Horrific racism still exists. Sure. Okay. It's still fucking wacky.
Yeah, that's wacky.
I guess, lucky us to not ever experience that. There's that whole brother-sister school. Too many arrogant little princes for Megan's taste.
And then, she... All of a sudden, like, being in college has her feeling like a class-conscious free spirit, and that's how she ends up dating Larry.
Lynette, her roommate.
Tall basketball Lynette.
Lynette's boyfriend, and boyfriend's friend Larry. He looks like the poor man's Denzel Washington or Sidney Poitier. So now we have 2 black men that are acceptable.
Yep, that's it.
Larry, on this first date, already says he'll live in London, do one of Shakespeare's. Larry does a poem at her, and something stirs inside of Megan. Her clit. Why? So she's like, it's a secret romance. And I was like, why does it gotta be secret? And she was like, I could never bring him home to mother. I know, I get it. And we had a little bit of it in the last book. About the racisms of France. I don't know. But Megan's got like a hard crush on and a lot of frighten about the interracialness of it all.
So
it's very fraught.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We have to go out places that no one will see us together. Even though she acts like, yeah, no, I'll pick you up in front of wherever you are. We don't have to meet somewhere secret. And it's like, we went to places where none of my friends would see me. Okay.
The jazz club.
He calls her a week later after he was letting her simmer, you know what I mean?
Letting her clit simmer?
Oh my God.
So yes. Let's see. There's a saxophone that was so sensual.
He surprised her by just joining in the band.
And fingering that sax.
Oh my God.
And he makes love eyes at her after one jazz date. Because
she said something about, it's like my grandmother used to say like a branch that doesn't bend breaks, which was also said in End of the Rainbow, like the last book.
Oh yeah?
Someone, Rain said that Mama used to say that.
I feel like it is a common saying
it is.
In these books.
But
but this literal exact family series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, 2 different people's grandmothers said it. And then she said, well, she must have known I was coming. And then that time when his eyes looked at her, it was love.
Megan wants to be wild and carefree, but Larry is much more aware of the Rachel tension.
Rachel.
Uncomfy with an offer to give money.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, that was...
They were, like, hanging out all the time, and Megan was like, well, I can give you money so you can quit your job and hang out with me more. And he was like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Like, that's fucking weird. No.
Excuse me.
He was just like, it's fine to struggle. Like, it's fine. And, I don't know, she says something wacky, and Larry says he loves Megan's ability to satirize herself. And I thought she was just being her kind of out-of-touch self.
No.
And I was just like, is it intentional?
I think it was. Yeah, because she had said something like something about, like, driving through life or something. She's like, I don't know, I've always been in a limo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. That was it, yeah. They have New Year's together, and Francis gets fucking sus. And then there's a secret pregnancy forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She finds out that she's pregnant, and she's like,
There's a lot of, like, exposition about it. And did she ever consider an abortion?
Yeah, they talked about it a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she set out twice to go do it.
Okay, because then it was like, and then all of a sudden it was so many 4 months. And
yeah, so right after she found out, she said she set out 2 different times to go to a clinic, And both times she was just like, ugh, like a little voice inside her head was saying, like, you shouldn't make this decision about Larry's child if he doesn't know that this child is
that went on for a while. That must have been why I wrote Eternal. Larry gets into Oxford program, and she was very upset about it, and he thinks it's because, like, oh, it's fine, we can still talk, and she was just like, okay, and
yeah, she was about to reveal the pregnancy when he was just like, I got a scholarship.
Now she feels like she can't because he'll stay and it'll be like not what he wants. And she was like, I didn't even know that you were applying. And he goes, you fill out forms like you fill out dreams. I don't fill out dreams.
I don't fill out dreams.
What does that fucking mean?
I have no idea.
You fill out forms like you fill out your pants.
Well, you know what? I think it's true because I don't fill out forms. Yeah, and so then
it isn't
by proxy. Yeah, I don't.
And then she is just like Angie for pages, like Angie driving for pages, and there's not very many of them.
No, there really aren't.
She was like she like pulls over to a gas station and gets the water.
Larry left, and then she was like, ugh, and then she's like, no, I gotta go tell him. So she runs after him. Is about to call his name, but then stops and like watches him walk off into the sunset. And then she just stands there, and then she angry walks around the campus, realizes that she's crying, and she's like, I don't want to go back into the room because then Lynette's going to be like, where were you? She probably thinks I'm out celebrating with Larry. So then she got in a car and just drove around again. Stopped at a gas station, got a bottle of water.
And called Mummy.
Well, wanted to call for Daddy, but...
So she loves him, but is having a secret baby because of racisms, or she doesn't want to stop him from Oxford. I don't even know. I guess it doesn't fucking matter. Both?
Because, yeah, he wasn't from an affluent family, so it's like, they were talking about, like, she had a prestigious family name. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah.
We have a guest house birthins.
Apparently there's just a lot of farmhouses in the South where people just get...
Have a guest house.
No, just where... people have secret babies.
Yeah.
Also.
So she's like, from now on, I'm just going to go with the flow, which is trying to set up, like, who her character is in the future. And I have a question, a thinker. Mm-hmm. We have our history of shit moms. Is Megan one of them?
I don't know.
I guess she didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Great episode, everybody. Okay, so here we are. What?
Just, it was so unnecessary. Like, I would have rather it just ended with the last book, or we got a real book, and it was Frances younger. Fuck Megan being younger, I don't care. I want Frances's story.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because I liked her. She was feisty. I would love to see, like, her... Because we could have still had, like, her side of the stuff going on with Megan and everything, but just, you know, her affair with Jake, being pregnant with Victoria... Victoria huge bitching out of her ute.
Now here's a fun exercise. So we're gonna when Niederman kicks off, we're gonna have to take over. The VC Andrews estate's gonna have to contact us, okay? So here's what we're gonna do.
Stop.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna pretend we just got this, and they told us to flesh it out to make a real book.
It's not.
Yep, it is.
It's not.
So I got some ideas.
Okay.
You're good with ideas.
Yeah.
You can. You're getting. Wait, put it down.
That's good. Don't worry. I can listen and look something else at the same time.
The big question is, do we address the daddy fingy? Remember when Victoria was going crazy and we were like, was there a fucking daddy fingy? And I have pros and cons for each. If we could say no because that's too obvious, been done too many times, is it time for something new? If we say yes, for that continuity's sake, like, was it just Victoria or Megan too? If it's just Victoria, would he be angry over the fact that she is a love child? Would he know that it's a love child? That's an interesting layer. Would it justify Victoria's anger at her prior statements about Megan, i.e. she just pretends nothing is wrong?
So, I don't think we would know because this happened to Victoria, so unless it came... Or, the illusion.
Right. Well, I mean, again, with these books, you'd have to be lingering or lurking to get the information.
Okay, so like Megan would be outside like she had the measles. Like I don't know. I think it just
should have been. Yeah, that could have just been like a crazy thing that.
Yeah, I think that just alternatively that just shouldn't have been mentioned in the last book because it didn't make sense. And you know, in this one, Megan's not giving any sort of vibe at all.
Any abuse, yeah.
Exactly, not at all.
So we can look at, because historically we've had a bad man's as the head of the family.
Yep.
Maybe Victoria is just shitty. Or does she get a why? Do we give her a why? Do we flesh out that why? Could she have always suspected she was a love child?
No
or
way.
does that take that away from the
I don't think she ever did, but somebody said, I think it was Jake or so. It was surmised though that Daddy Hudson did know that Victoria wasn't his,
and we never got any obvious that's a great reason for him to be shitty to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but there was never any, and maybe if we were fleshing this out, Megan could have lingered or lurked and heard some of that, and that'd be told in her voice. Did we ever need a reason for people? Did we ever need a reason for others being shitty, like Malcolm Foxworth or Lillian's father, Captain?
Again, I want it to be Francis.
Well, then we can write that book in a minute.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I felt like we would need more Megan high school establishing scenes. Mm-hmm. Is she Belinda? And is this a positive depiction of a fun, rich, or spoiled teen? With that sort of morality, she doesn't seem to give much of a hoot about issues.
I think that it's not quite like Belinda, but ish. Like, it's giving that vibe of, like, what was her sister's fucking name?
Olivia. I mean, this seems to be like the reverse telling of Belinda Olivia.
Yes.
But I feel like Belinda had, like, a smudge of, like, mental illness in there.
I think she did as well. And also... But, like, there was the same, like, sort of no reason for the other sister to feel shitty about the sister. It was, like, remember, like, Olivia was just, like, big mad that Belinda was, like, a happy free spirit.
The same with Victoria.
Yes. I'm saying that's, okay, yeah, that's what...
That the other sister tracks, but the free spirit isn't exactly the same.
Yeah. The other sister is just mad that they just don't like the other personality because it's too fun for some. They for some reason are just like, you need to be serious. I don't know why. It's just big mad about it.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the Belinda Olivia, kind of from Belinda's point of view. So I just would have liked a little bit more about Megan in that high school to establish who she is, and would that be this spoiled rich girl? Because it looks like they're kind of going that way, which is why it's so hard for me to buy into her immediate, like, I'm a free spirit now. Like, I did not buy that at all.
No, because she...
Oh, that's some debris on your...
She go to... Was it Dogwood? Was she going to Dogwood?
Yeah.
Did she? Or we don't... We're sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
But whatever. Yeah, I don't know, because she talks about, like, as soon as she gets to... I think, honestly... Okay, so the reason... Yes, okay, so snobby for sure. And yeah, it's a shift of perspectives for her, and it feels like such a shift because it's a 48-page fucking...
Yeah, I mean, like, what else would we have?
So, but it thinking back on it right now, I feel like it alludes to her becoming that way because of Lynette being her roommate. She was just an average girl, like, because her father is a famous basketball player, and she was like,
of course
she didn't exude any sort of, like, snobbery, or she didn't, like, gloat about the fact that her father had a famous career. And I think that sort of, like, vibe checked Megan, because she hadn't been around people like that who weren't, like, sort of bragging about my daddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then she was saying, like, the dates that she was going on with the other men, just, like, it was boring her to death with their stories of being on the French Riviera. So yes, it was that. She just, like, sort of realized, like, ugh, like, this is vapid.
Had a little more exposition about that relationship and literally as Megan, the narrator,
is changing.
Could have fucking said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that would have been nice
That
to
would
like
have helped.
have her like realize like as she's talking to people that she normally were talking to, like,
and then like
realizing more and more.
Like Lynette was so refreshing to be around. I was like, oh man, my friends that I kind of hung out with suck a little bit.
Yeah, like wow, all we did was talk about I don't know, vapid stupid shit.
Obviously, Larry and Megan need to have a lot more relationship building scenes
Because they talk about like the future together, like
in one sentence. But like, I need a little.
Yeah. Because it sounded like they, there was mentions of talks of plannings of things, so we could have had read those actual conversations.
Like, did Larry and Megan talk about like what their life would look like? Would she have a job? Would she raise kids? Like, I don't know. I think like, or what else did they connect with? It's just like, Larry showed me this cool thing that was black, and I thought it was so cool, like jazz and a one-room apartment.
Yeah, I don't know why they got on.
What does Larry see in her more than just like, because she's kind of fun and goofy and good to fuck, I guess.
Yeah, apparently the first time they kissed, he was like, I never kissed any girl like that. Because she was, right after they kissed for the first time, Megan's like, don't even tell me you never kissed a white girl like that before. And he was like, no, I was going to tell you I never kissed any girl like that before. I'm
not feeling it.
Yeah, I don't really know what, but she kind of mentions that too. She was like, she became more worried that like Larry was going to disappoint himself if he was with her. So I don't know, just vibes.
More,
maybe it's all pheromones, babe.
Yeah, more scenes with them would have been great, and we need more justification for Megan excusing her family's racism, or more scenes of her struggle with it.
Yeah,
like,
it was
I feel
weird.
like my fam's like, ew, they're done. They're not my fam. Do you know what I'm saying? Like. Or a lot more of like, I was really torn up about it because of X, Y, and Z, and bip, 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 bip. But it was just like, oh, well, they were racist.
It wasn't even that. It was like, I don't know. Because she was like, how could I bring him home? And then she was like, one day there was going to be a perfect opportunity for me to bring him home, and then I wouldn't care, and we'd move to England if they didn't accept us. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Something with the family should have come to a head. Now, for continuity's sake, did Larry know he had a child? I can't remember that.
So, this book...
If we, the authors, want to maintain continuity, which Niederman does not, but...
Yeah, so that, I mean, we would have had Larry know about it then, because when Rain shows up and meets Larry... He was like, yeah, I've wondered about you. And that's why she was big mad at him, remember? Remember, like, during their conversation, right when they met and she found out that she was his daughter?
Yeah, okay.
Like...
And she was like, you never looked for me?
Yes.
Okay, so already we got a hole.
Yeah, so yeah, because she was like, Matt, he doesn't say, like, I actually never heard from her again. Now it makes sense. Yeah. Now it makes sense why I never heard from her again. Because I didn't know about you. Holy shit. Like, that wasn't a thing. It seemed like he was like, oh yeah, I don't know, yeah. But in this, we're led to believe that she, like, never talks to or...
Just, done.
Yeah.
Pieces out.
She, like, drives by his house and, like, says, goodbye, my love. And then the next day, like, goes home and then whisked off to a farmhouse.
Guest house.
Farm guest. She's a farm guest.
So yeah. So I mean, yeah, it would have to be that. Yeah. Okay. So let's.
So in this one, yes, she would send him a postcard or something to just be like, this happened, or like years and years later, I finally wrote him a letter, or
we could have a big old scene where she tells him, and then is this like, go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That
something. So, I'm going to put you, Johnny, on the spot here. All right. And we're going to talk about the prequel you'd like, which is Francis's story.
Yeah.
Would we start in her... I feel like we need a little bit of her childhood.
Yeah.
But none of these, like... Before it's, like, just my childhood.
I was 4 years old, and then when there was 20 pages left of the book, I turned 12, and then I was 400.
I think that is something that Niederman does because it's that teen year thing. Like, that's all it is. We're changing that because these are our books now. We're going to get young woman Frances. Young woman Frances.
Yeah, like, well, we had young woman Olivia in, like...
Oh, you're right, yep.
Foxworth, yeah. Like, they just talked about her, like, they did an appropriate, like, very small, whatever, and now I'm a teen.
Okay. So we don't know much about Frances, so we could just do anything.
Yeah, like I'd like to know how she got together with I can't remember the father's name.
Daddy.
Howard? No,
Nope.
that's someone else.
Doesn't matter.
But because in this one, Megan's talking about like I can't imagine him courting her. Like I don't know what they saw in each other to make them want to get married.
Let's
Great,
figure it out.
I want to do that. I also just feel like with Frances as our protagonist, then we have, you know, her being the omniscient one, and she can talk about her husband, she can talk about Megan, she can talk about Victoria.
Yep.
I want to know, like, what that whole pregnancy was like. Where did she go? She already had Megan, and was she gone for, like, 9 months? Like...
Why would she have to go anywhere?
I don't know. Didn't she go somewhere to have the baby? Did she just have it at her house? She stay inside? Like... We didn't really get a lot of...
I mean, you can say it's your husband.
Right. That's right. I forgot. Never mind. I forgot about that. Yeah. Usually, people can't know other people are pregnant. I forgot she was...
I forgot there was no secret pregnancy.
Yeah, I forgot there was no secret... Just secret father.
Usually there's a super secret pregnancy and a switcheroo.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I know, you went too deep. Pull back. So we could do that. But still,
like, her turmoil of, like, whose baby is this? How she knew...
Well, is she fucking more people than Jake?
No. No, I meant between the two of them. Between Jake and her husband. Okay. She was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But like...
Okay, there we go. Okay, great.
But like, I want to hear about like their love life drying up and her like realizing that he's cheating, but like realizing that she doesn't really care. Like...
Let's talk...
You know, let's assessing her feelings and being like, you know what,
let's get into young Jake.
Shits. Yeah.
Where's young Jake?
Yeah, how did that happen? What was like more about his connection with the property?
Yeah, where did that go? How and why did they get the property? That would be a great start to the book.
Yeah, because they were
acquisition.
Well, his grandfather owned it, and then in the Great Depression they had to sell it, and that's when
the family acquired it.
Yeah,
okay.
Whatever the husband Hudson. Right? His family?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, something. I don't freaking know.
Okay.
Something. And then, like, you know, he went away to the Navy and, like, ooh, and he came back and then she was like, oh my God, Jake, you grew up.
If you put on this lipstick, you would look just like this child.
Just way more interesting because we already had, like, enough of Megan that I don't care about.
Sure.
I don't care. Like, we got enough of her story that this pamphlet was completely unnecessary.
It really was.
It didn't tell us anything new.
We got no new information.
Nothing, except for like she went to a farmhouse and no one ever found out.
She went to a college.
It was pointless. Like throughout the other 4 books, we know that like
we know this.
She went to college and she was in a free year. She did a thing and she gave up the baby.
I know this. I know this. What's that from?
I know all this. It's from the Drunk History of Hamilton. And he's like listing off like when they met, the first meeting. It's like, I know all this. And he's like, you interrupted me. I'm gonna have to start again.
Great. Yes, it was. So that's that. And then so the question I now have, if Frances is so fucking cool, is she a racist?
No.
Or was it just, when Rain came to live with her, was it just the scandal?
Yes, the scandal.
Okay.
Because also, I don't know how much Megan is projecting about how her families are feeling.
Great.
Because Frances never said anything about...
That's in the pamphlet.
That there's a black... Like, that it's a black man. Like, when Megan told her on the phone, she was just, like, silent. Mm-hmm. Like, that was it. Like, maybe she was being like, the fuck does she think I care? Or like, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Or, I don't know. I feel like maybe Megan was more worried about people's perception than... Because she never said anything like that. Like, Sure, when Rain showed up to live with her, she was like...
And a black person, but... Because she was like, oh... Frances did reference the race of Larry when, like...
Oh, like, and she had to go and
like...
Of course it had to be a... Maybe because also that way...
Whatever their community was like.
Yeah.
What a great topic to explore.
Yeah. But I didn't really get, like, a super vibe from that. I think it's just more, like, societal at the time.
Whatever the time of the time was.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like... She didn't really rant and rave ever about. It was just like of course she had to do this, and of course it had to be, like, an obvious... State, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, those are the books that could have been written.
I would really, really love that. I want Frances.
Final question, which is a thinker. Mm-hmm. Now, we've talked...
Oh, but wait.
Well, yeah, hi.
Another thing, if it's Frances's point of view, she, like, in her mind is gonna go... Like, we have the comparison of, like, her having Jake's baby, passing it off as her husband's, and then all of a sudden her daughter she finds out that her daughter is pregnant with, like, a child she can't keep. Like, and, like, what kind of, like, feeling she had about that, 'cause she can't be like...
What a connection.
Like, I had a really stressful pregnancy that probably also shouldn't have happened at this time, like, at the time that it happened for me.
What a great plot point.
Yeah, there would have been, like, that was a connection that could have brought them closer, you know?
Interwoven story.
But, like, yeah, she couldn't tell Megan, like, oh...
Pages of fraught internal dialogue have been missed.
I really would have liked Frances as our protagonist. I think it would have been way more interesting. Mm-hmm. I want to know...
You're right, we got no new information from this flyer.
Yeah.
This paragraph.
No, it's just, like, less... I don't know.
Somehow we got less.
Yeah. Because, more questions were like, but Larry did know that Rain existed. I don't know.
Now, we talked before about how all of our protagonists were white and we got a person of color. Now, the question is, should a person of color be written by a person of color? Because it was very squicky that an old white man was writing for a young black lady. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like when you write a movie and, like, cast a white guy to be that Indian guy in Short Circuit, or, like, cast a straight guy to play, like, a gay character, or a queer person. Cast a straight person to play as a queer person.
Yes.
It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's okay to try to represent, like, to just be like, there are different people.
Maybe he could have, like, consulted like, a person to ask, like, hey, why don't you share your perspective with me?
Yes, I think you could have done more research, but I don't know. Like, but again, I'm not a person of color.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't know.
I feel like if you're just writing people and it's a character, that's cool, but if it becomes a caricature, that's not cool.
Like, it veered into caricature.
Yes, I don't think it was intentional. It was just him not being...
Sure, he's not clued in, and, you know...
I think it's about that. So, like, yeah, part of it's intention, and then part of it's, like, kind of doesn't matter what your intention was if it's kind of cringy what you're writing sometimes, but...
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's okay to just write as a person. Okay. Write a person. People can be interested in different kinds of people.
And maybe shop this book, like, let a few other people read it and be like, is this getting to an uncomfy territory? Like, maybe source it out a little bit. You gotta have to recognize that your voice is going to be different than other voices. Okay.
Maybe go to DC.
Look at the project.
No, for real though. Like, walk around the city. Like, do some reconnaissance. If it's so outside of something that you know.
Yeah.
You got money to go to DC and walk around.
You can do that. You can do that,
you know.
So, the next ones...
Oh my god, it's so stupid, the next ones.
They're short. They're short boys. Another short boy adventure. But compared to this 48 page, they'll be so long.
It's the Shooting Stars miniseries. And we got latte names now. We got cinnamon, ice, rose, and honey.
Can I get an iced cinnamon rose honey?
Can I please get a tincture? Like, what?
Yep.
What in the coffee order is this?
What in the Starbucks arena?
So I think, is that 4 with like a 5th boy?
I don't know if there's a 5th boy.
I have them upstairs. We'll go look.
I don't know if there's a... I don't know.
I know I have the omnibus, but I don't know if there's like an extra boy.
Okay.
All right, I don't know.
Great. We tried.
I don't know. What are you... I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, as far as what you would have liked.
What would you like to make for a prequel?
Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah, whomst would you like the perspective to be from? We also never fucking found out how she got with the Arnolds.
What?
We still don't know how the fuck they found Ken Arnold and why she was given to that family.
Oh my god, that's right.
And if it was from Francis's point of view, she organized this shit,
did.
and we would know.
He was just a man's hanging around. Maybe.
She's like, oh, he's going to a family. She's going to a family in D.C. and
The end.
And Megan's like, well, is it a good family? Should we going to financially set it up? And she was like, you should have fucking thought about these questions before you decided to have this baby.
This black.
I mean, kind of. We don't, like, really? 48 pages. You're going to tell us about Margaret Carlson and her bird watching. How ugly Victoria is.
Nary a whisper of Ken Arnold.
And the name doesn't even come. Like, you do. How the fuck did they know Ken Arnold?
I don't know.
He's not in Virginia. He's not the kind of person that they would just be like,
okay, buddy.
At an event. Where the fuck did he come from?
That's a great fucking question.
If he's like some grifter, I highly doubt Frances Hudson is like,
she didn't vet that.
Take my illegitimate granddaughter. Like,
the granddaughter.
This was a hit and a miss. This wasn't even a hit.
This was a swing and a miss.
It wasn't even a swing.
This was a miss.
Oh, you know what it was like? This is like the beginning of the Daria, like the opening sequence of Daria.
Yeah.
Where it shows like they're playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And the ball
goes right past her.
Past her, and then after it lands, she puts her hand out to catch it.
That's perfect.
That's what this is.
Perfection. Mwah.
But yeah, we'd love to hear, dear listener, we'd love to hear your...
Yeah, like, what would you like?
Yeah, what do you think?
What were you doing? What were you liking? What would you have written as the prequel? Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Let's chit-chus. And then we'll see you next time with more Short Boys.
Next is the Coffee Syrup series. I love you, dear listener, but I did not love this book.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh wait, no, shit.
Stop
Yeah,
button.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening to VC's Pieces podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support was provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music is Dust in My Attic by Broke MC, and that was used in the Creative Commons license.
Email us at vcspiecespodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts or comments.
You can also follow us on Instagram. We are at VC's Pieces Podcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, find your family,
step onto the stage,
and for God's sake, knock it off with the racial hyperbole.
I got too much dust in my